What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for Your Overwatch, and today we're going to be going over how to attack Eichenwalde Point A. Now, it's got a very wonky choke and tons of flanks that I think are majorly underutilized, and we're going to discuss how to go about exploiting them, as well as how to defend against such a thing yourself if this happens to you. Now, the enemy team actually wrecks my team at the gate, but I noticed that a fire strike goes zipping past and hits a few targets, so it's that time to pounce. I capitalize on the opportunity to kill my counter first. That's very important, and then I can clean up the rest of the team. Once that bastion's out of this team comp, the enemy pharmacy and tanks and healers really struggle to deal with me, and quickly eliminating them in the right order when the opportunity was there made it so that the mid-fight that breaks out after this is incredibly easy. It's a foregone conclusion because as long as I stay high enough in the air, I can't die, really. So, with that being the case, we just win. Target prioritization is key on these flanks, guys, when you make these solo effort plays. That's sort of the problem and the risk-reward when you go off on a mad flank. It can feel scary to get away from the security blanket of your own team, but playing conservatively with incredibly concise timing is how it works. You have to read the animations of your enemies and see what they're doing. What is their attention on? If they're all staring at the choke, Ana's healing the Bastion shooting down the pike, I can two-shot the Ana and then get out of there with that frag in hand. Now, this second fight, we lose because way more of my team die here than in the first time. So, I get a call that we should back up. Got the kill on the Ana, should be coming back from spawn in a predictable way. We group up as 6, speed boost in past the choke, and before you know it, we're fighting again, and oh look, there's the Ana. That regroup play made it so that the Ana could not be in the fight at that point of contact when we regrouped. That's why regrouping is so important. Knowing when the fight isn't won and you can get out of there with some frags to boot and utilize your spawn advantage. That's what's important. If I die there and overstay my welcome instead of regrouping up without getting another kill, which is pretty likely not to happen, I won't be there for that fight and Ana will be able to return, removing that advantage that we had. Now, that's the main crux of being able to flank on Eichenwalde, is finding that key target, winning that duel, then overcoming that point for the rest of your team and making sure that you have man advantage when you keep fighting. Now, here on defense of Eichenwalde, I'm playing Soldier, and we're going to witness the enemy team's Pharah attempting to do the same exact thing I did to them just the previous round before this. But me and Ana are keen to the flanking tactics, and he actually sleeps her, and I clean her up. Now, let's think about what could have this Pharah done, right? You turn the corner here, and you have 2 hit scan counters in front of you. Well, you're kind of left with a poor decision. If you try to jump out too wide, you're probably giving them a wide angle shot to be able to hit you, but at the very least, maybe you could use the trees there to cover up your approach. Or perhaps at this point, you could try to fly over the left side, trying to keep a very high angle above your opponent, as it's pretty awkward to try to shoot directly above you. But nevertheless, if you see 2 things trying to duel you directly, doing anything you can to stay alive and hide from that engagement is going to be a value play, because theoretically your team should be at a man advantage if you're drawing the attention of 2 of the enemies at once. The other option, of course, is to send a pharmacy along that outside on the flank to be able to embolden the health pool of Pharah as she makes that split play, because dividing and conquering is incredibly powerful, but that Pharah's got to stay alive above all else. Now, the question is, when you're tying up the attention of the enemy team's hit scans and you're not able to kill them, is your team able to get the value elsewhere on the map? Well, if we look at what this enemy team's trying to do, one, the Pharah's not playing particularly great because she's not able to find quick value from her engagements. She's just sort of getting this trash damage, poking at random times, not knowing when to commit fully to be able to hit those kill shots to eliminate a target and delete it from the state of play instead of sort of posing around and not doing a whole lot of anything. But also, the fact that she's pressuring from the outside isn't getting taken advantage from the rest of her team either, because they're running this triple tank into the choke, which is something that I highly suggest you don't do, especially against a Mei and a Junkrat who's just going to feast on your massive hitboxes and zone you out of the play with a Mei wall. On attack, me and Liam were a dual threat with Pharah over the top and Genji cleaning up underneath. But if you just have slow tanks that can get walled off and have to poke at the choke, it's difficult to get any other DPS threat to see any openings while the attention is drawn against your Pharah play. Because you got to remember, playing that triple tank setup is typically very reliant on the Roadhog being a secondary DPS to be able to get hooks and insta-kills for your team. And without that, you just got a bunch of big bulky bodies soaking up damage into a choke point while your 1 DPS struggles to find a favorable duel because they don't have to respect you. They can wall you off at the choke and just spam down that lane, and the hit scans are never put in a threat from a different angle and could just concentrate on the Pharah the entire time. Now, of course, you don't have to attack Eichenwalde just with the Pharah. She's just one of my best heroes, and I think, based upon the architecture of the map, it's one of your best options. But other heroes can get over the top too, but I think definitely you're going to want to consider flanking on this map, not putting triple tanks into the choke, because it's difficult for them to find the value and get past that. If you can't get past the choke, your players can't fight. If you're just standing there and allowing one flanker to be able to get all the attention drawn onto them while most of you can't even find the fight poking from the choke, you're not actually taking the engagement fully. And that non-committal play style is going to get you losses, not openings into the play. And it sounds wonky to say in matchmaking, because oftentimes when you start mentioning too many of these DPS heroes, people start to think you're throwing and seemingly are much more comfortable playing multiple tanks into a choke point. But if you start putting Genjis and Sombras and Tracers and Pharahs and Widows and things that can fly around or flank or do something else other than just stand at the choke and absorb damage, you can create the state of play to be able to find an opening. Now, of course, those are flimsier, more difficult to play heroes, but this is a more difficult to play choke point and attack, so you can't just simply meat shield your way through it like you were able to do in metas past. Players have wisened up to that, and the game is at a state where you're going to have more difficult heroes in your hero pool in order to overcome some of the challenges maps like this present you. The other plays that you can consider are if you can't successfully flank on this map with Tracer, Sombra, Pharah, Genji, then you have to embolden your ability to poke at the choke and attack Bastion, attack Hanzo, Roadhog for picks possibly. Characters like these can work okay, but if you just have triple tank or Devo or the standard soldier standing in behind a death ball, absorbing spam and damage and not really getting through to find trades in the engagement, the defense is always going to have control of the map, and there's not much you can do about it. Guys, this is a new type of video that we're trying out here today, showing examples of engagements on this particular map. So if you enjoyed the video and it helped you out, please hit the like button. It really does help us out and lets us know that you enjoy the content. In the comment section down below, let us know maps that you specifically have a problem with and need help understanding how to take an engagement on it properly or to carry your way out of a tough situation on those maps. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button because we upload each and every day, so you're going to want to hit the bell icon to make sure that you get notified when our videos go live. Linked in the description, you can check out our Twitter, our Twitch page, and our Discord server where you can find the flanker main of your dreams and team up with them so they can carry you through maps like Eichenwalde. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.